Welcome, everybody. And behind the cameras, if you can't see what you can't see, we have a live audience today on Mylo and Ben, the podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. We're so glad we didn't have to pay you to be here. Thank you.
Yet.
Yeah. Clearly, Ben will be paying Season Wear, grower of the property shop, our superstar guest. You're our first guest ever on the podcast. Well, aside from Bruce, but Bruce is my husband. So you're the first non-married related guest official.
I feel special. Thank you.
You are special. Round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you.
So Mylo, Draven, Ben, Sanchez, and Season Ware. So we just wanted to introduce ourselves real quick. But thank you for being on the podcast today, Mylo and Ben, the podcast. So we gotta introduce ourselves.
I did. I was Mylo and Ben, the podcast. They know us.
So we just do this, like I said, to I guess get people to know us. You know, we realize that people work with people they like, and so we just wanted to show our personality a little bit. And when Mylo asked, who do you want to be a guest? You know, and you're the first person that came to my mind, just because I really love your leadership style, and I really love working with the property shop with you. So
thank you.
You're the first one that come to my mind. So.
Well, I love you, so it's worked out perfect.
I feel so unloved in the corner. Not about me.
It is. No, but Mylo and I have been working together for years, and I'm all about alignment and where how my business is, right? And I like working with people that I like. I have my title company here that I work with a lot. The realtors that I work with, family, everyone's here, So I'm all about having the right people in my circle. So, yeah.
Because we've learned the hard way. When you don't have the right people, all the wrong things happen.
And if you don't like who you're working with, what's the point? We have such a small amount of time on this earth. So like the people you work with.
That's it.
And when you do align with people that you don't like, or hire people you don't like, or work for someone you don't like, just everything's kind of like crap. So yeah, it is. It's miserable. So
life's too short to be miserable.
Amen.
Nugget for the day.
But yeah, so this podcast, we just want to talk about you, just kind of shine a light on you. And as a woman in this industry, I know it's probably not the easiest thing, you know what I mean? So you don't mind me asking you some questions?
Ask away. Ask away.
So I have my cheat sheet here, just to kind of keep me on track, but feel free to go on a tangent. I don't care.
Okay.
The first question is, what inspired you to get into real estate? And did you always envision running your own brokerage?
So no, I didn't ever envision running my own brokerage. But I did, as a kid, have these crazy dreams of buying up all the old houses in Galveston and restoring them, which seems a little silly, thinking about it now, because I didn't know anything about construction. They didn't have, these flip shows on TV. I think the only thing they had on TV back then was Bob Vila, and it was on, PBS or something.
Not Bob Vila.
But it used to how certain things just hurt you at your core. I remember being a little kid, and that would be the only kind of vacation we got to go on, is if we got to Galveston or somewhere like that. And my heart would just break seeing these historical homes and just someone needs to save them. And
so it was always inside you.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So anyways, that was kind of the feeling I had. And then when Mark and I got married at a very young age, we couldn't afford to buy one of the $60,000 choice homes at the time. So instead we had
roll the clock back.
Right.
I mean, listen, Monopoly, honey. I wish I could buy me a house for $60K.
You can, sir. It might not have windows
or walls.
But hey.
It might just have plumbing.
So we did our first flip, if you will, when we were kids, and we did it ourselves, and literally had to figure it all out. And that's when I went, there's something to this. I really love this real estate thing. And that's kind of where the bug started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as a kid, I went to our family vacations as a kid was always Galveston. And so I never knew that water would be clear until I went to, where did you go? St. Thomas for the first time, out of,
Right.
And so the first time I put my feet in there, I was like, oh my God, the water is clear. I thought it was fake. I thought it was in movies, but that was my vacation as kids too. Yeah. So.
And then you had the second thought of, oh crap, now I can see everything.
Yeah. Why is it not brown? Yeah. We do want to know.
Since I'm up from Texas, Galveston is where you catch a ship.
Really? What?
Yeah.
That's where you catch your cruise.
Cruise ship.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I hear of Galveston.
But you know what? It's such a great historical town. You should go back with different
Go down.
eyes.
Yeah,
It's really
go down
fun.
there.
It's
Well, we went not long ago. My family and I went to Galveston a few months ago. I don't know. And I didn't get in the water, but it was nice to be there and enjoy,
absolutely.
the beach and just being on the beach. So
yeah,
I
there's
think
like
that's
a
cool.
nostalgia to it too.
There
I think.
is.
Is there a boardwalk?
There is a boardwalk.
Seawall, and then
A seawall?
yeah, it's like a giant concrete wall to keep the whole. Anyway,
Like a dam?
See,
Like a dam wall?
I'm like, you know what? Just cut the whole thing. Let's just go to Galveston right now.
Because I haven't got around about no seawall, girl. Is that like the wall? Like, what are we moving into politics?
The Great Wall, yes, girl.
Is this the wall they're talking about?
Yeah,
This is the wall
yeah,
I'm talking about.
That's the wall.
That's the wall?
No.
Lord have mercy. I
Oh,
didn't know.
Lord.
Yeah, so I guess part 2 will be Mylo and Ben go on a road trip with Season to
Oh
Galveston.
my God, that would be so good.
That would be a good one.
Yes, Thelma Louise and the new sidekick.
Or Tuong Fu.
Are you too? I'm happy to be Noxima, honey.
You are Noxima and Chichi Rodriguez.
If you know, you know.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced in your early years, especially as a woman in the industry?
So I think probably the biggest challenges were we still have them, but they're grown, 3 kids, and they're all like 2 years apart. And then just to make it more fun, Mark was on the fire department. So every third day I was not a stay-at-home mom, and single mom with all these kids. And I just was, I refused to miss pickups, drop-offs, room mom. I wanted to do all the things that
All the mom things.
I wanted my mom to be able to do, but because she was a business owner, she wasn't able to do. And so I would do all the things. So I think we're just trying to wear too many hats. And in those early years, I was admin. I was, the one teaching. I was the one figuring out. I was the one doing the accounting. There was a lot of struggles with
So did you
that.
start relatively quickly in your career with like a team, a broker? Like, did you? I know it takes 3 years to get your broker's license, but did you start like, listen, I need a crowd. I'm going to run this.
No, not at all. And so I'll kind of just give you the speeded up version of it, I guess. So like I said, we loved the flipping thing and fixing up houses. Initially, it wasn't fix it up, sell it. It was fix it up, live in it for 2 years. Fix it up, live in it 2 years. And so our poor kids were like local military kids or something, right? Because it's like, we're moving again. And so that was really what kind of made me start the brokerage. So I ended up getting my license because I was frustrated I was unable to find an agent that I felt hustled at the level that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I'd get very frustrated with that. And I'll just get my license, right? If they can't figure it out, I can. Got my license, but then I found the same thing happened when I went to a brokerage where I just didn't feel like I could get the response I needed out of the broker. And this was, some people had cell phones at this time, but it was pretty much like you caught the broker in office or you happened to get him on the office phone. And so I knew from, week 1, I'm like, the minute I get my broker's license, I'm doing it because I just want to be by myself, lone wolf, don't want to deal with anybody else. Which I'm not advocating that the lone wolf thing is a good thing, but that's just kind of where I was at. Like, okay, I don't need all this extra stuff. I need to be alone. And then it was just kind of happened organically when people knew I had my broker's license. A few people approached me and would say, hey, would you sponsor me? And at first it was, no, I'm not looking to do that.
I have kids. No thanks.
And it went right. And then it was literally about 4 people within a week had approached me, and 2 of them had personalities where you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, they're going to kill it in the industry. And the other 2, I'm like, I don't know that they're going to make it, right? Because you have these feelings about people. So I thought, since there's 4 of them, I'll just do this. And I was wrong. It was one of the ones that I thought was going to do great did. The other one completely flopped. And then the other 2, one that was kind of shy did amazing. And then the other one didn't. And so I started kind of noticing a pattern. And it wasn't that having the personality made the difference. It was having the hunger.
Yes.
That's what made the difference.
And we talk about that a lot. And, because in mortgages, in real estate, in sales, if you're not hungry, if your husband has a job and you're just a part-time LO or part-time realtor, I just want to do 1 deal a year.
Right.
you're not hungry, you don't care.
Right.
Right? Like, I got to eat. Right?
That's
I have to hunt, honey. If I wait for somebody to bring me a bowl of berries, I'm going to get a rotted berry.
Right.
I'm going to be hungry.
But that was, that was exciting to me that I could then go, okay, in this industry, same for, mortgage and a few of the other real estate related industries, but it didn't matter who you knew, how much money you had, how well you did in school. It didn't matter any of that. It was that, did you have the hunger and drive? And I thought that was really cool because then you can go, if you're not an attractive person and you want to be a model, I can't really help you. But if you want to get in this industry and you're hungry,
listen, there's always a serving recommendation, girl.
And then you can and then you start seeing you can change the trajectory of that family forever. I mean, it's just really cool. So anyways.
No, I completely agree. Like, so for me, I fell into mortgages. Ben knows this story because we covered it. I had the worst LO on a deal. I was building a house up in Providence, near Savannah?
Yeah.
Providence. Horrible. He was mean. He was like, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, what is the hassle? This house is taking 9 months to build. Why do you need this today? Why are you calling me the third time today asking me for this, right? And I remember calling the builder. I said, I need a new LO. This guy's a dick. She's like, oh, no, I'm going to give you so-and-so. She's sneaky. So-and-so, who I'm still friends with, I'm going to put her on blast. She's amazing. I love her. She's a top producer, but he was on her team. So she literally just moved me up to the big boss.
We've had to do that before, haven't we?
We've had to do this for you.
Right?
Oh, let's reassign you.
Yeah, so they reassigned me to make, because it was her best friend. So she didn't want to put me with another lender, right? She was keeping the money in for there. And then I remember going to my LO and saying, so I'm going to go take the LO class. She said, why? I said, because I don't understand what you guys are saying. And I don't want to buy this house and not understand.
Right.
Not recommending this for anybody. This was a big accident that was meant to happen. And she said, well, I'm still going to run the deal. And I said, girl, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm literally just trying to get some knowledge.
Right.
And, I took the class, took a review class. At the end of the review, he's like, good luck on your exam. I'm like, what exam? He said, to get your license. I said, what license? He's like, to do mortgage. I said, for who? He said, people. I'm like, what people? He's like, people buying houses. I'm like, oh, hell, I just wanted to know. Like, he's trying to help me. Yeah. Pass the test. The rest is history. But it's that hunger.
Right.
Right. I was doing hair. I had a great hair career. And I remember the first job I interviewed on, he was like, we offer you a minimum wage. I said, I'm sorry, how much is that? He said, well, I don't know. I said, you're offering me a minimum wage. You don't even know what it is. So let me make this clear. I am not a struggling hair person. This is like a transitional career. Like, I'm debating, right?
Right.
I said, when do I start? He said, what? I said, you're offering minimum wage. You can't be picky. That was that, like, first job down. So
That's awesome.
I think, the hunger, one of the things I love about Ben is, and one of the things we talk about a lot is the hunger. But what affects the hunger that we don't all really deal with verbally, like out loud, is mental wellness.
Yeah.
Right? You're riding these emotions of, I want you to get this house. I want the generational wealth for you. I want to change the trajectory for you.
Right.
But like sometimes you're pushing them and dragging them and you're just exhausted.
Yep.
We'll talk to each other after doing, I'm like, girl, what are you doing? I'm going to relax for 2 days. I'm like,
Right. I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself.
Yeah. And then, but you end up at points during the transaction, and I know some of the audience people that we do because they don't know, right? The first instinct is to give up for everybody. It's like, well, it's just not meant to be. No, it's meant to be, girl. I can't have one berry. I've got to eat.
So my next question is, what's your leadership style and how do you empower the agents under your brand?
Ooh, that's a really hard one. I feel like I've got more of like a servant leadership style because I don't want to keep like all the things for myself. People that come to me and say, and I've had it before, like, hey, I want to do what you're doing. Like, I'm very open about what I've done, how not to do it. And then I'll ask the hard questions. So I kind of feel like that's a big thing is instead of, being like the gatekeeper on everything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
no, like here it is, and being accessible and just knowing like, hey, I'm a real person too, and I want to like have relationships with the people that I do business with. So
I agree, and I can personally like attest to that. I know whenever I was going from in my own like personal transition from like a team to like solo, you and I had a personal conversation, and I cherish that, and I think that's why like I just feel very comfortable at the property shop, you know? Yeah. I think it shows that you really care about your agents, even like from the top performing ones to like the ones that are maybe don't perform as good, you know, or I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but maybe like the people that are not as producing, you know? And you treat everyone with the same respect. And that's really why I love being at the property shop. It's like we're all, I don't want to say the word family because it sounds so cheesy, but it is.
And not everybody has a good family, so sometimes it's not a good.
Well, listen, you can still be family. Some people are like stepchildren. Some people are cousins.
Yeah.
That's the cousin we don't talk about.
You know, I mean, it's still family. But he's not blowing smoke up your skirt. He adores you. And I've known Ben for years. And from the beginning of our relationship, your name has repeatedly come up. And, I talked to my broker. We've talked about, there are different moments where, opportunities have come and he's brought it up to me like, well, why not? No, you know what? I love her. I'm going to, he's so loyal to you because you've been so great to him. And I've seen how, and I know other agents that, are in the property shop and they're all great. So whatever you're doing is working.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Because listen, I have to work with him. Please, thank you.
Well, there's a lot of like, it's like I say, it's a boutique brokerage. I really, really appreciate that because I came from bigger brokerages. I started at Keller Williams. And I don't know if we're allowed to name drop, but that's where I started. When I first got in the industry, they gave me a coach, and that coach had like literally like 25 people he was coaching. And I got my first client. I was writing my first offer, and I asked him to help me with it because I had no idea. He's like, "Yeah, just write it up, and I'll look over it." It's like, okay, I did that. I just put whatever, and I sent it to him. He never got back to me, and then I ended up making a friend at the brokerage, and she was also new, and so she like looked over with me. We figured it out together, and I just submitted it. I was under contract, and then I ended up closing that deal surprisingly, and I told him I wasn't paying that coach. Like he never got back to me. He never responded. And when I would call, he'd be like, "Who's this again?" I just didn't like that feeling. So then,
oh wow.
Well, I don't.
You at least fake that you know who it is, right?
It was so bad, and so I just when I first got there, they were like preaching like, "Call us anytime," and I'd call like several people, and nobody ever got back to me, and so I just felt like I was on my own. So I ended up going to EXP and did that for a while, but I'm just not in. I don't know if I will ever be in that mindset of just recruiting. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know, but just wasn't there. And then so like at the property shop, I just felt like, okay, this is I'm meant to be at a boutique brokerage. I'm meant to be at a brokerage like this where. I think I started in 2021, and that was a crazy year in real estate for all of us. And I remember reaching out to you about clients that I had that I wasn't winning offers with, and you like gave me so much knowledge and so much like, well, what are you doing with this? Can you tweak this? And I did, and it worked. And I remember that's when I was starting to win offers.
Ooh, remember what I did so I can tell people to do that again.
I don't know. We just talked about like, a bunch of stuff, we don't want to give away our secrets.
That's right. That's right. Well, and even if you did, it's so different than
it's
today.
So different now.
So and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't love about the industry that I absolutely love because it keeps me interested. Like I don't like the same all the time. I like the pivot.
Every deal's different. Every year's different. Listen, for rates, it's every day, right? Every week.
And every person's different. Yeah. So you have to be, open to new solutions. So
yeah, we're puzzled. Well, I mean, that's the thing. When I did hair for years, my mom would laugh. She'd come and say, "You hated chemistry." I'm like, "Girl, all I do is mix formulas now." It is crazy, right? And I'm not a big puzzle person.
Yeah.
Or chess. So I don't play chess, but I do it literally every day, all day now for these files. And you're trying to, whether you're starting them or there's something unexpected because somebody didn't tell you something. We had a deal. All of a sudden there was another house in Pennsylvania. Then the father got brought on and he had another wife. Like it was crazy.
And it happens.
Yeah, I mean, every time we tried to solve it, it was like, wait, what?
But wait, there's more.
No. Literally. But we closed it.
That's awesome.
That's what it takes.
That's awesome.
Have you ever felt underestimated in the industry because you're a woman, and how did you handle it?
Oh, gosh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean,
Here on the stage with us.
That's right. I mean, you know, you say, how do you handle it? Honestly, I'm one that I find a way to make my point without saying exactly what I want to say, right? Because if you gently lead someone else to their own conclusion, then they'll accept it better than if I tell you this is how it is, right? So I've handled it a variety of different ways. I've been very lucky that I have a spouse. It's very, like, I tell him he's the biggest women's lib person I've ever met. Like, he's always very supportive of that. We had someone approach us, you know, a couple of years ago and wanted me to take on a really large leadership role within their company and help them with what the things they were doing. And one of the things I asked them sitting around was, you know, table of course, it's a bunch of middle-aged men. And I said, why me? And the owner said, because we need a good female leader. And that immediately was we're out.
Yes, the red flag.
I'm not your check mark, right? Like, if you think that what I bring to the table is amazing, then I want to work with you, right? But I'm not this check mark. So, you know, I think because I have more of a strong personality, I've been hit with it my entire life, Ben. So, I mean, you've been in a room where people, you know, jokingly say, oh, she's got that BDE.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't know what that means, you don't need to know. It's fine. But I've been faced with that my entire life. I mean, I just remember being a kid and people would go, oh, she's more like a guy. She's more like, and now looking back, you know.
Are we segmenting into like a trans episode? Are we okay?
Yeah. Yeah, she's more like a guy. You know, and I would just I remember thinking, like, what does that even mean? Just because I'm a strong
woman
doesn't make me a guy, you know. And I will say that, you know, the things like the BDE, to me, that's funny. And I like that we've gotten away from things like, I remember being a little kid, they'd say, oh, she's just bossy. No, I wasn't bossy. I was somebody that was born with natural leadership skills that people needed to hone in on, not put negative words with who I was.
Right. If you're a strong woman, you know, in the 70s, 80s, you're a bitch.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And, you know, same thing. And I think women, same thing with gay men, like, we're reclaiming these words that are horrible. Listen, I call myself a fag all the time. I don't really care, right? So I am girl, listen, a fag with a bag, honey. And my brokerage, so one of the things that we put on it is HFIC. I'm the head fag in charge. And my girl that runs behind me, my concierge, she's the HBIC.
Yes.
And so when she sends in paperwork to lenders for approval, that's what she puts. And one call, she's like, what's the HFIC? I said, me? Is there a problem with what's the problem? No, we just have never seen it. I said, okay.
HFIC, that's funny.
I mean, at the end of the day, for you, I'm saying it, you know, we as, I will say, marginalized community members, right? Whether it's female, gay, ethnic, double duty here. You know, we're not invited to certain tables. We're not invited to certain rooms. We're not invited to certain conversations. And because you have a voice, then they don't want to hear you.
Right.
Because you're the lone wolf.
Right.
Well, you're over there by yourself. What you have to say has no value.
Right.
So the fact that you stood up as a woman with a voice and said, I'm not a bitch. I'm not bossy. I understand. I'm intelligent. I will stand here until the law of nature brings me what it's supposed to. I think that's amazing.
Well, and sometimes you retrain yourself. Like, I remember just being in a room and talking about someone trying to potentially put someone in a leadership position that was a gay male. And I remember going, well, how are your heterosexual men going to handle it? And finally, I remember thinking, that's their problem. Like, what is it that's ingrained in us to think that?
Well, but we still face it. I mean, yeah. I know Ben does. I do. I have a realtor that I've worked with her for 10 years from the beginning of both of our careers. And she still said, well, I didn't change that client because, I mean, he's a little homophobic. Girl, I'm married. I'm not trying to sleep with him. Why does my sexuality even come up into the conversation?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't say, hi, I'm Mylo Draven. I'd love to be your LO. By the way, I'm gay.
Right. But you get the same thing on the other side, you know, when you're, you know, as a female agent, you know, when I was out producing, I can remember being very mindful when it was the husband-wife coming and that knowing that I was going to hone in on the wife.
Yes.
I was going to immediately look for something that I could genuinely compliment her on because I don't do fake. and just that I needed to forge that relationship immediately, or I had no chance.
You had no chance because you're the cheating, you're a hussy.
Right.
My grandfather bowled all his life, and my grandmother hated it. And so, he'd go to the bowling alley at night and drink and bowl. And she's like, "Oh, those bowling women whores." I'm like, "Oh my God, they just bowl, Grandma. They're not out to get him."
And
that's that mindset.
Yeah, that's very valid though. Like even like as like me as a gay guy, I will hone in on the woman and like be her best friend just because it's like, I don't know why that's such a thing, but I feel like the women make more of the decision whenever it's home buying or home selling. I guess.
For sure.
Because the men's out there working.
For sure.
That's a valid
I have
thing,
one client now, and I only talk to him. I said, "I'm so used to talking to women. Where your wife doesn't work. Why am I not talking to her?" It's like, what? I said, "I'll talk to you too much. Where's your wife?"
But you have to put these like extra safety measures in place that I don't know that male agents necessarily have to do. And I hate making this like a female male thing, but it's the reality we live in.
It does. Yeah,
and it's like, it'd be curious. Like we should probably ask like Lane, does he feel the need to text both the husband and the wife? Like, because I always would text both because I never wanted any, question of, why you texting, why it's like, that's something you actually have to think about, which is
I never
ridiculous.
thought about it from your perspective as a woman. Like I just think about it like, okay,
Women sadly look at most other women as threats. And I hate that.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
But even so I have to be mindful on applications because a lot of times the wife will do it, right? Even if she works because the husband's doing whatever or he's not good at it. And then I have to be careful because it happened once where we got to the closing table. The husband said, "I'm not signing because her name is first." I said, "But she did the application. That's the only reason her name was first." "Well, you have to change it." I said, "It's too late."
It doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I do though? I do it on purpose. I'm not even trying to be funny. I literally, when I write a contract, I do put the woman's name in her name first, and then I do the man's name. Don't know why I do that, but I just do it because I never want to I don't know.
Right.
I don't know why I do that, but I do it. I purposely put the wife's name first and then the husband's name.
Because you're challenging the norms.
I mean,
go for it.
I do it on
Go for it.
I do it on my pre-approvals. You have to look. Like if I talk to the husband, his name will usually go first. If I'm talking to the woman, her name's first on the pre-approval. Yeah. Or if it's first on the application. Right. But then when I get into the group text, then I'm like, "Hey, everybody."
Right. Yeah. And I don't even care about the actuality of it. I care about let's have challenging conversations that make us think about things that we've never thought about before. Like, why does it matter?
It shouldn't matter. And that's the sad part. Like we actually spend time trying to make sure we're not offending somebody that shouldn't be offended about this. Right. There are bigger problems in the world.
So I don't know if you know this story, but whenever I first, I was interviewing different teams, right? This is back when I was with KW. And I interviewed with this person. You know this story and you know the person. I interviewed with this guy and I was going to join his team. Oh, and it went really, really well, right? I was like, "Oh yeah, I think this is the team for me." And then at the end of the meeting, he asked me, he's like, "So don't take this the wrong way, but are you gay?" And I said, "Yes." Like, it's, and
why, you're interested?
No. So he was like, "Okay, well, just some advice. You might want to tone it down a little bit just because you don't want to turn off anybody, And I was like, "Okay." Right. And I could feel myself getting flustered. And I was like, respectfully, I was like, if somebody doesn't want to work with me just because I'm gay, that's not the client for me. I don't need to work with that person. He goes, "Well, you just don't want to turn down business." And I was like, "No, I do. I don't want to work with somebody that doesn't want to work with me,
Right.
So, and then I left that meeting just feeling some kind of way. So then when I interviewed on another team later, it went really well. And I asked that person, I said, "Hey, they were like, do you have any questions for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gay. This is not going to be an issue." And they were like, "No, why would you ask that?" And I was like, I was really new in the industry. So I was like, I just want to make sure it's not going to be an issue later on. I don't want to tone it down or whatever I need to do just to get business. Do you know what I mean? And which is literally the reason why we're even doing this podcast in the first place, is because we want to introduce ourselves as,
it would be interesting if that same person still felt the same now, because, I don't know the age or anything of this person you're talking about. But I will say that there is, and Mylo probably could speak to this a little bit too, because I think we're both Gen Xers. We just really got the whole, this is what professional has to look like always, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and there were all these rules. And it even changed my mindset having the first agent, and this was 2012, and she would just show up to closings in her North Face hoodie, and I was just like, oh, how unprofessional. Who? And then I went, I'm wrong about this. I'm way wrong, because she was relatable to the people she was working with.
Absolutely, yeah.
And she was working with a lot of, your Keller, middle of suburbia, and the moms related to her because she was just like one of them.
Yeah.
They didn't see this fancy and hills and all this. They were like,
it's the same thing. Like when I did hair, my demographic was not older, but my age, right? 30s, 40s, 50s. And they would bring this picture of some little 20-year-old model, right? And like, I want her hair. I'm like, do you want her hair? I'm going to cover the face. Oh, no, I don't want that hair. I said, okay, so then we need to go to the doctor. A little filler, a little Botox. It's not about the haircut.
Wrong appointment.
Let me do what I do, and then I'll give you a recommendation.
Right.
But it's like that's the thing. I mean, Joe, I've worked for Joe before, and he knows, he'll attest. I've gone to many different mortgage companies in my career and said, so I'm gay. Are you gonna have a problem with that? Because I don't want to be treated.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not part of the guys. I'm not a frat guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm one of the girls.
Yeah. It's different. Right. And please don't tell me like you're emotional. Like, oh,
right.
That girl like that. Joe helped me with that because I am a little emotional, but it's a Latin thing. It's really more spice and emotion. But, you get treated differently, and you come in, and to answer your question about where this whole story happened that he's talking about, that person would love to have been at this point. It would never happen. Right. Because you love the product shop. But that person would have loved to have been on the team making this production. Like, he would eat. Oops. They would eat their words. Whoops.
Yeah.
It's all good. I think it just comes from
ignorance.
Probably, or just upbringing, or different lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe I think they meant it in a nice way. Maybe just delivered it wrong. But I just think that way of thinking is just not for me. You know what I mean? But
so we were talking about this on the podcast yesterday. One of them that we filmed. You can't draw the line with, I'm going to tell him, well, you just got to tone the gay down. Are you going to tone down the Latino?
Yeah.
Are you going to tone down the woman? Are you going to tone down the African American? Are you going to tone down the Korean or Asian? Like, you can't tone it down. You are who you are.
Right.
So whether it came from a nice, listen, you got me fired up, whether it came from a nice spot or not, fuck you, frankly. Like, how rude.
I feel like I should.
Sorry, everybody. I've been behaving.
So yeah, and I have some different tie-ins, but it says on one of my questions that I have, and my girl ChatGPT helped me with these questions, I must confess. So
yours is a girl.
Mine's a girl.
It's Ben's only straight relationship.
Yeah, ChatGPT. And what did I call her? I called her Chatina, but you said
you can't call her Chatina, honey. Well, because that's a drug name. You cannot call her Chatina.
Call her whatever you want. Yeah. She's addictive.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So how do you create a culture where everyone feels seen, supported, including us LGBTQ members in your brokerage?
Gosh, I feel like that's a very difficult one, because it's not, for me, I can very easily see authentic and not authentic. And so in the last couple of years, to see corporate companies throw out these different things, although there's a part of me that thinks that, oh, that's cool that you're being inclusive, then there's the other part of me that's like, it's BS.
Absolutely.
It's not real. And you can tell when it's real and you can tell when it's not. So to answer your question, Ben, I don't know. I think it just has to do with the way that, my mom raised me. I mean, my dad was there too, but I mean, she was the one that was very we have this in common, like the hair world, right? So my mom owned a salon and stuff. And so I think that's probably what gave me the, women can own businesses kind of mentality. Because even in the hair world, there's a lot of women that do hair, but there's not a lot of women that own the company.
Yes.
Right. And so, I just remember being a kid, and I would notice that, maybe someone seemed different than what I was exposed to or used to, but she was very adamant about not having labels and not treating people differently. But if you met her, she's the sweetest person, so never even says a bad word, never anything, but she was very strict on us about that. So it's never been anything intentional. And I remember a few years ago, we were having a Christmas party, And one of the spouses of a lady that worked with us at the time came to me and he goes, wow, you've got a really diverse group here. And I went, oh, well, thank you. Like, I mean, like, I didn't even know what to say. And he's like, is this intentional? And I thought for a minute and I said, well, yeah, I guess it's intentional, but not intentional in the way that you think. I didn't intentionally go out and say, I want this person, I want that person, I want that. It's just, I think the way that we treat people and the way we do things, it's intentional and because it's who I am to be inclusive with people. So I think that's kind of the big thing. I don't like the corporate push for things then when I don't feel like they're real.
Yeah.
Because you know how, you know, a lot of companies, it's about the bottom dollar and like, oh, this will make more people come to us if we do this or if we don't do this.
We've talked about that before on our podcast.
And so I don't do that. And so it's, I don't know.
But it doesn't work, right? You might get the spike because the people that are in mortgage industry, right? There's big sign-on bonuses. There used to be, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden you get these people, you're paying them and then they're gone because they didn't produce.
Right.
Now the companies are screwed. They're out money now. The rates are going, like, it's just a cycle. It doesn't work. Again, I think you being who you are has gotten you the universe has rewarded you and put the right people around you.
I think so.
So you just feel like it's a natural attraction. Like you just feel like the right people come in your circle and then it kind of includes everybody.
Ben, here's what I think. I think if you're a company that is out there and you're authentically treating people well, you will naturally attract a diverse amount of people because we are a diverse world.
Yeah.
So unless you're being in, even if it's like a subtle thing and you don't realize it, if you're trying to only attract a certain kind of person, that will reflect. So if I say I only want to surround myself with middle-aged, you know, white women that look just like me, it's going to show. And you see those teams like that.
I was going to say Abby Halliday.
And you say, and you know, so you, right? And so, and we're not, and for that reason, I think we're not for everybody because it is so, you know, just.
You don't want to be for everybody. That's exhausting.
Absolutely not. But you know what's funny is I found that yesterday I was having a lunch with another business leader and we were talking about something and I was saying like talking about the way that people dress. Like you don't have to be in the business suit and all this to succeed. And he immediately started apologizing for wearing his suit jacket. And I said, you don't have to apologize. That's how you're comfortable.
Yeah, that's you.
Like, that's okay. Like, it's okay. It's to then tell everyone else that works for you, they have to look like you. That's where you kind of start going, like, no. I mean, and some days I'm in the mood to wear these, and some days I come in and like my overalls. Like, it just, you know.
But I went through that. I mean, I think Ben did too. We, you know, when I first started as an LO, I thought I had to wear slacks and, you know, dress shirts, look like I was a financial advisor, look like I was, you know, whatever. Right, I was pretending.
Right.
And then it got hot one summer and I was like, oh, it's too damn hot. I was wearing shorts and then a dress shirt. Then I was like, what? Listen, you don't care what I wear. Nobody cares.
Right.
Right. They want to know, are you giving me good service so I have a great rate? Like, are you closing my deal on time?
Yeah.
Ben has never asked me once, like, what are you going to wear to the meeting? He asked me what here, like, what are you going to wear to the podcast? But like, if we're doing consultation, he's never once, make sure you wear.
Right, right.
I don't know. I think my clientele is usually like a first-time home buyer, you know what I mean? Or somebody that might be selling for the first time and buying their second house. And I just want to be relatable and less intimidating. And I want to, you know, come off as what is
authentic.
Yeah, authentic. I can't say the word.
Right.
As possible. But so that's just me. I think when I first, like I said, got into the industry, I was dressing up every day. But I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing? You know? So I think I just like a polo and jeans is.
And that's okay. Like it's too, like, and I do still believe a certain level of know your audience.
Yeah.
You can still adapt what you're wearing
absolutely
to the audience and still be the real you, right? Like, you know,
well, COVID changed it all, honestly. Like once we hit COVID and we were all home in sweats for months, nobody came out after that like snazzy. Nobody cared. It was like
everybody's shirts were too small, and they wore pajamas everywhere, right? Like,
I mean, listen, I almost bought some jammies yesterday. We were shopping. We went to dinner together with Bruce after the podcast shooting to the Galleria, and we were at Zara, and I was like, "Oh, these pajamas! I'm gonna wear these tomorrow." Bruce like, "You look like you're in jammies." I don't think Cesar don't care, but Ben might get mad.
I bought my Zara jammies.
you can go back. You're
Thank
close.
you. I will.
Yeah, you could go back.
Okay, a few more. What's your proudest moment as a broker so far? Like, you had to pinpoint that. Like, what do you feel like you're?
I don't know that that's like this very like detailed moment, but I think just in general, one of the things I'm most proud of is that I came from, like I said, my mom was the business owner, but I came from a family where almost all the men in the family were union workers. And like, it was very like, that was the only opportunity. I was the first one on one side of my family to go to college, and so you only know what you know, right? And so when I first got into real estate, I don't think they all took it very serious. And it's really just changed our family dynamic completely because now, my brother is in real estate. All three of my kids that I gave birth to are in real estate. Both of my son-in-laws are in real estate. And it's going like, we took this family of, go to work, punch in 9 to 5, and that we now have something completely different. And
shifted your own trajectory.
Yes. Yeah. And so just to see that, I remember Kanan, she's our oldest, and Ben knows her. She's too smart for her own good. And I remember like her being that kind of age where she was like, well, my mom doesn't have a real job. And then her getting to the point where then all of a sudden she's at TCU and she's surrounded with a lot of kids that had parents with a lot of money, and they would talk about stuff and she'd say, oh, well, my mom did it smarter than yours. My mom actually makes the money and still gets to be with us. Like, it's all of a sudden she had a mind shift change of like, oh, my mom doesn't have a real job. She's playing house, right? And so just now it's just kind of watching that, I think, and just to see that my family values what's been built here and they want to be a part of it. So
I don't think you're proud of the longevity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, this isn't a long business. So,
I mean, it's not for the weak at heart.
No, I'm 20 years in now. So, I mean,
you're only 25. It's amazing. You're a child prodigy.
Right.
Baby boss.
Right. Baby boss. Yeah. I love it.
I don't know. Do you have any spicy questions? You said you had some.
I always have spicy questions, honey. Listen, I'm the one. So how did running the brokerage affect your marriage, right? Did it your love life? Because you come home, you're pissed off. Maybe you were supposed to cook, whatever. Like, how do you balance that?
Maybe that was really rude.
I said maybe. That's why I said maybe. Maybe you were supposed to cook. I don't know if he was supposed to cook. Maybe you were ordering Uber, girl. I don't know. That's why I said maybe.
He's always been really supportive of everything that I've done. I think the times that there's been any friction with that, it's really been more of a protecting me, and at the end of the day.
Yes, honey. What do you say when I say that too much?
I say at the end of the day has got to end.
That's what I say at the end. He's like, the day's got to end. Oh, I'm rude.
At the end of the day, Mark still does take a very traditional mindset in that he will protect me to the end. And so the times that there's been friction with that, it's him truly, I think, protecting me and looking out for me and seeing when I have some unhealthy behaviors, because I do tend to be a workaholic. And so, and that's an addiction that's rewarded in this society.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, all this, you can be fully addicted to work and people are like, oh, you're so great. You're so successful. And you're like, and then you go, but am I healthy?
Yeah. Am I really happy? Am I enjoying my life?
Am I doing it? Yeah.
I'm making all this money and I can't spend it.
Right.
Because I'm constantly working.
Right. And so I think there's, kind of been that stuff. And I remember another time him getting really upset because I didn't want to let a client go that had sent me so many inappropriate things.
Oh, wow.
But it was that feeling of, well, I'm going to let everybody down because we had a really big account with this guy and I had a business partner and, he just him seeing that, like I said, that protection mode.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's always been really supportive of what I do. So
it's good.
Yeah.
And he does it too. Like he's in it with it now. He's now.
I didn't recognize him today because he cut his hair. He was like, we've met. I was like, have we? Because I remember everybody. Was like, I had hair. I said, you had a hat on too. He's like, yeah. I said, okay. I felt bad. I'm like, how do I not remember the husband? Oh, so rude.
I have one.
Spicy? This is spicy. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the worst piece of business advice you've ever received?
Oh, gosh. So many. So many.
Quit because you're a woman.
No, I remember years, I was just gotten into the business, like I said, 20 years in now. And I remember the broker I had at the time actually told me to use sex appeal in this business. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
Not happening. That I'm like, I am too feisty for all of that. I don't even know how to flirt. It's not-
What's funny is we were talking about last night with dinner. I was like, I'm gonna ask her, like, have you ever done anything dirty on a show?
Wow.
He was like, don't you dare. I was like, oh, well. So it's funny that this is your answer, right? I'm like, yeah.
Ask away.
But it's so crazy, right? Like sex sells there. So we've talked about this on the podcast during the summer, right? You'll see ladies, no offense to the lady agents. All of a sudden it's tits out. They're on the boat. I'm like, are you selling a house?
Selling sunset.
Right.
Not even selling sunset, just selling grapevine.
Right.
Like, oh, mega producer. No, girl, you're on the lake on a Tuesday. Like,
And you know what? I guess it works for some people. That's not me, and I wouldn't even know what to do with that. I'd just be like, oh,
it's just a lot. I mean, it's funny. One of my agents was shirtless male, and he did something. I was showing everybody like he'd been working out, so I commented nip slip. Look, we don't want to see it. Put it on. Yeah. There's just a point where like it's business and it's casual, and I get it, but you just gotta put it all out there.
Well, and that's kind of like, so today I did the no makeup thing.
And still stunning.
You look beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Still stunning.
I put a tiny bit of mascara, and I'm always going to have lip gloss. Lip gloss is like a non-negotiable.
I just have a little bit of mascara.
But you know what? Then that's okay. But for me, it was a challenge in personal growth because three things, like one thing can happen, but then when three things happen about the same time, it kind of makes you think. So three things kind of happened around the same time. One was, Pamela Anderson came out with this no makeup thing. And I mean, I was the first one. Like, I mean, Ronnie can show you like rude messages between he and I where I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I'm sending my husband like, now you had the better choice, didn't you? So that's kind of stuff that's going on. And then I have a granddaughter, and I just started noticing, she's 4. Every time she came into my house, the makeup drawer was the first place she would go. And, and I don't remember what the third thing that happened was, but it was just kind of the challenging of all of a sudden I'm like, when's the last time that I like went out and didn't have makeup on? And I'm like, that's not like, I need to be okay with the unedited version of me. And it's really uncomfortable, which lets me know that it was even more important to do. So it's not that I'm like this anti-makeup or any of that. It was just if I'm that vain that I don't want to leave the house without makeup, I need to work on this. And I'm so used to seeing the retouched version of me everywhere that it's been hard. Like, I'll tell you, I started on my birthday and it's been over a month now. So it's been really hard, but I am starting to like appreciate
your natural,
the real me more now. And so, anyways, that was all it was about. It's, it's
always easy when you're pretty too.
I know.
I roll. I don't wear any makeup. Oh, because I'm stunning. Okay.
I'll take it. Can you call me every morning?
I know.
Or just give me a voice recording. Like,
hi, Season. It's you. Your conscience. You don't need any makeup. You're stunning.
No, I had to. One of the podcasts, I critique myself so much because I watch it and I'm like, oh, like, why do I look like this? Or so like I will put more concealer on or something just because of the lighting isn't right or whatever. But I do agree, like, just loving your natural self. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
I mean, somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody I know, I don't think either of you would know. I'm like, who is that? Like, your face is a mannequin. Every picture.
right.
You don't even look 12. Like, you just look... I walk by you on the street. I wouldn't even know who you were, right? Like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
it's too much.
Right. But there are so many like that. And I even I just in my own self-reflection, I'm like, where did this start for me? Like, where did it start? And I remember being 12 and like, I'm going to show my age now. I don't care. I'm 47, young and all know. And it was the glamour shots were so popular. And my mom took me for like my 12th birthday or something. And loving that version that was on the photos was like, oh, I always want to wear makeup now.
And they painted those pictures. They were painted. That was
They were
horrible makeup.
painted on. So painted on. So
My mom has the glamour shot. I'm gonna bring it in.
My mom has one too with the big hair.
Girl, her hair is big. She's wrapped in some foil thing and like lips. And,
Foil.
oh yeah, it's crazy. She looks stunning, but it's crazy.
And then the funny part is like Mark and I met on a blind date, and the only picture he had seen of me before we met was the stupid glamour shot picture
So he walked right by you?
So he was expecting, like, I had like blonde highlights, you know, because everybody's always experimenting on at the beauty shop back then. And like, so he's expecting this like little tiny petite blonde with all, and then he gets this tall brunette, and like, I'm not sure, he's like, this looks nothing like the little sailor hat you're, you know.
I gotta see the picture. You gotta show it.
I'll have to find it. But yeah.
So in the show on this, what's a mantra or quote you live by? What's something that you...
Oof. I don't know that I have a mantra or quote that I live by, but I do hear all the time, like when I'm in difficult situations, just like hearing my dad would always say, rise above it. Like that was always his thing, like rise above it, rise above it. So that's probably something that always, I try to get rid of the things that he said on repeat that were negative for me, like do it right or don't do it at all. And we're just sticking with the, rise above it. So. Really
Mine's what would Mariah do? That's mine. Do you have a mantra?
Yeah. If I say this, will I get in jail? Will I catch a case? If I say what
a joke.
Yeah, will I catch a case if I say this? No, I think nowadays, like as I've gotten older, I mean, I'm older than you, I'm 57. Like now is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? And 99% of the time it's not.
Yeah.
It just isn't, because if I have to stoop down or lower myself to make this comment, I'm devaluing me.
Right.
So there's nothing worth devaluing who you are. Or
do you find that empowering? Because I know the minute I stop, because like I have a lot of things I want to say to people on socials, but the minute I just started going, nope, not worth my time, I felt so empowered.
Yeah, well, you just feel lighter, right? You're not bringing all this negativity on to fight it away.
Right.
You're just like, I don't even want this.
Right.
Right. And I love my husband, and I know he knows what I'm about to say. Bruce, when he's bored and when he's feeling a little feisty, he loves to like go fight with, whoever's on saying something stupid about something, right?
I'm married to one of those two.
and he's like, this is what I said. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah.
I said, listen, get it out of your system, because I just need you to be cute and cuddly with me. Like, get it out. Do you?
It's because I'm trying not to be one of those people that reply to dumb stuff online. Like, it's work for me to not reply to someone's stupid comment. But yeah, I agree. It's better just to let people be.
Y'all want to fight. We're past it. We're trying to catch checks and vacations.
I think, Ben, you just get to the point of you just realize you're not going to change those people. And so in my mind, I equate it to like arguing with drunk people.
Yeah. That's actually good.
Why am I going to argue with drunk
fix
people?
Stupid.
No, you can't fix stupid. But it's like, to me, it is. And it's, and it's like you guys were talking about, I think a lot of it is when people say things that are just so ridiculous, it's ignorance. Mm-hmm. Most people are not intentionally trying to be mean and hateful and all of that, but it's just pure ignorance. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I'm not going to change them by saying what I want to say, but I'll text you and be like, oh my God, Ben.
Well, and really, like, am I the stupid one now because I'm trying to talk to stupid? Like, who's really stupid here?
You're going to get us in trouble. I'm like, they are here. You do know that, right? Like,
no, listen, they're not listening. Welcome to the Mylo and Ben podcast. I want to thank you so much, because I know this was not your comfort zone, and I know that you did it for your love of Ben. And we met once finally, and I thought you were amazing after we met. I told Ben, I'm like, oh, I like her. Yeah. So thank you for being our first guest. You were amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we love you.